Okay, so we are about to start the technical session one. So with due permission from the resource person, we are going to start the technical session one. And our first presenter is Dr. Neelam Kapoor from Delhi University. And Dr. Neelam Kapoor, I guess she is not present here. So we will move to our next presenter, Biswajit Das from RG Borua College. Biswajit Das, are you present? Okay, sir. Biswajit Das is requesting us to share the slide from our end. So it's going to take 1 minute, sir. So he's going to join us. That's all. Okay, so by the time Biswajit Das gets ready and we get ready from our end, we would like to move to our third presenter, Geeta Sharma, research scholar from Tejpur Central University. Madam Geeta, are you present?
A very good morning to Sir, Panda Sir, Rahul Sir. A very good morning and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Give me a moment while I pull in my presentation.
Sure, ma'am, all the best.
Thank you, sir. Okay, I need some time, please. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me this time. The topic that I am going to present is from waste to wealth. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, very much.
Am I audible, sir? Thank you, sir. From waste to wealth, I am going to discuss about the circular economy practices in Assam's woman-led souvenir enterprise. Just give me a moment while I pull in this slideshow. Okay. Okay, fine. So here, sir, the basic thing is I shall be sharing on textiles, handicrafts, bamboo and cane, edible souvenirs, eco packaging, diversity crafts. Here, the alignment is with the Sustainable Development Goal number 5, 8, 12, and 13. Now, we all know that the Sustainable Development Goals are the 17 global goals adopted by the UN in 2015. They provide a shared blueprint for peace, prosperity, and sustainability by 2030. Each goal, they address a critical challenge: poverty, inequality, climate change, environmental degradation, peace, and justice. Therefore, this study basically would like to align the waste to wealth by integrating the SDGs. So, here the four SDGs aligned here are SDG number 5, wherein it deals with gender equality. Now, the link here to Assam's women entrepreneurs will be for the woman cooperative and SH, that is self-help group, empower artisans, giving them financial independence and leadership roles. The second SDG that will be addressed here is SDG number 8, wherein decent work and environment and economic growth shall be, is the title. Here, the meaning basically is it promotes sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full employment, and decent work. Here, souvenir enterprise creates jobs, diversify income, and strengthens rural economy. The third SDG is SDG 12, wherein it is responsible consumption and production. Therefore, here it shall address the circular practices like skill scrap reuse, bamboo recycling, residue-based edible souvenirs, and biodegradable packaging. The last but not the least, the 4 SDG that will be addressed is the climate change or the climate action, wherein we all know that eco-friendly souvenirs and biodiversity-linked crafts, it basically raises conservation awareness and reduces environmental impact. I thank all the organizers once again. Now I would like to begin with my introduction. Normally, we have a very linear shift. What we do is we take an item and then once we use it, we dispose it. Or if at all there are any leftovers, we tend to throw it. However, the circular economy will benefit only when we start reusing the leftovers. We all know we need to take this shift now because we have to think about the environment. Assam's biodiversity and artisans' traditions provides a very fertile ground for more growth in the circular economy. There are a lot of initiatives taken by the government. Therefore, women cooperatives and self-help groups are central for this transformation. Again, souvenirs are basically cultural artifacts, but they also do bear an ecological responsibility. Taking that into consideration, these are the research questions that has been framed. Number 1, how are women entrepreneurs embedding circular economy principles? What financial institutional mechanisms support the resilience? And how do practices contribute to empowerment, preservation, and sustainability? Therefore, there are few literature reviews done, which were done on few themes about women entrepreneurship, on souvenir economy, on circular economy, in various policy contexts and few global insights. In case of women entrepreneurship, the key insights which were normally seen was the self-help groups, microfinance, unable participation, and the gap that was found was limited empirical studies in Assam. Again, in the souvenir economy, the key insights which were received was souvenirs deals with cultural identity. However, there is a need for sector-specific analysis. Circular economy deals with reuse and recycling, but there is a lack of longitudinal studies. There are policies, a lot of policies framed by the government of India. Now there is a fragmented integration out there. And global insights, there are very few comparative studies. There are three countries they have got certain published reports. Since this paper basically deals with secondary research, so I could find three about in Kenya, Peru, and Scandinavia. Therefore, the objectives which were framed here was, number one, to analyze the sectoral practices in sectors like textiles, handicrafts, edible souvenirs, bamboo and cane, packaging diversity and biodiversity. Second is to study the circular economy principles like reuse. First, we need to reuse, we need to recycle so that we can have a lot of resource efficiency. To evaluate financial and institutional mechanism like microfinance provided by various, we have got Assam State Rural Livelihood Mission. We also have National Rural Livelihood Mission. Then to assess socio-economic impact, to situate Assam in global circular economy discourse, and to provide policy recommendations. So, here I have taken care, this entire study is based on qualitative exploratory design. Again, this is primarily based on secondary data, journals, reports, and there are various NGO documents and the SDG framework. There are 4 case studies as well here, which deals with the weaving cooperatives of Walkusi, bamboo, self-help groups of Nalbari, the culinary enterprises of Jorhat, and the biodiversity souvenirs of Kaziranga. There are thematic coding done, wherein economic empowerment, cultural preservation, sustainability is taken into consideration. So as far as case study number 1 is concerned, Walkusi weaving cooperatives, it is seen that normally, currently the business is very, very less. So therefore, a new idea has come up to them, which is very encouraging. Now we see scarves, we see various bookmarks, we see various coin purses being made. Therefore, what they are doing is they are reducing waste, and most importantly, they are diversifying their revenue. Again, they are also preserving the Muga and Pat heritage. Therefore, this case study basically aligns with SDG 12 and SDG 5. Now, case study 2, it deals with bamboo product of Barpeta as well as Nalbari. I'm sorry, I missed Nalbari here. Now, here, the bamboo strips which are recycled, they are being used for jewelry. We see a lot of fashion jewelry coming up. There is a very low investment, and it also has an ecological fashion appeal. Again, when we wear such a jewelry, it reinforces the Assamese identity. This aligns with SDG 13 and 8. There are few culinary enterprises in Jorhat. Primarily, the one who is making maximum business is called Kuhi. What they are doing is they're taking up various tea residues, the fruit peels, and they're converting it into edible products like that of pickles, teas, and sweets. Therefore, they are contributing to the environment by reducing food wastage, expand urban tourist markets. They are also into various packaging innovations. Therefore, they align with SDG 12 and SDG 5. Again, the 4th case study deals with Kaziranga. In Kaziranga, as in when we enter, we see that there are a lot of rhino and hornbill motifs in various crafts, particularly made with wood. Now, this link livelihood with conservation awareness. Again, this strengthens destination branding as well. This aligns very well with SDG 13 and SDG 12. So looking into the sectoral insight, it is seen that in the textiles, they have started reusing all the leftover textiles, thus sustaining the heritage. Handicraft, they are making lot of bamboo and cane souvenirs, edible souvenirs. What they are doing is they're using the residue, they're converting the residue. In packaging, they are going ahead by making biodegradable items, plus they're using a lot of Assamese motifs. Again, in biodiversity souvenir, what they are taking care of is the conservation and livelihoods. There are many policies made by the government. There is Assam State Rural Livelihood Mission, MSME schemes that provides women entrepreneurs with financial help as well as a lot of training aids. Here, SDG 5, 8, 12, and 13 are directly addressed. There is a strong need for integrating circular economy into tourism or MSME policy. So to conclude, we must understand that women entrepreneurs are the agents of transformation. Circular economy can be localized through cultural heritage by maintaining that. Contribution here includes economic empowerment, cultural preservation, and sustainability. Here, Assam's case adds up to global circular economy discourse. There are a few recommendations. We must strengthen more support, the institutional support by various government agencies. We have to scale the eco-souvenir enterprises via a lot of cooperative pooling. There are a lot of funds which are provided by Government of India as of now, and as well as by Government of Assam. We have to integrate circular economy into tourism policy frameworks. And we must promote comparative global learning. To conclude, this is not just about women. It is not just about souvenir. It is more about sustainability. It is how all the three integrate to transform Assam's economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Gita, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And this is a very emerging area,
you, sir.
actually. Now over to the resource person, sir, Professor Panda, sir, your insights.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Sharma, for your brief presentation of your topic, paper from waste
you,
to
sir.
wealth, circular economic practices in Assam, women-led souvenir. So you have taken up 4 case studies.
Yes, sir.
And linked with the SDG. But when it comes to the essence of waste to wealth, okay, waste to wealth, actually,
Sir.
what did you waste?
Sir, waste is something, the leftovers. Whenever we make, say, for example, a muga chadar mekla, there are a lot of leftovers left that can be reused. That is the waste. That was the waste at one point, but currently this is being used. I hope I am answering it correctly, Panda sir.
Yes, it's not a leftover. It's not a leftover. Leftover
Okay.
has got a different meaning. So
Sorry for the choice
waste
of words,
means
sir.
which has not come to our use.
Yes,
Wealth
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
means
Yes, absolutely.
which has got the potential to be used.
Fantastic,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
here, definitely you have made a good analysis and just a presentation. But one point I will suggest, your recommendations
Yes, sir.
are not
Yes,
founded
sir.
on your analysis.
All right, sir.
So a researcher has to gain authority from the analysis. If you have not
All right,
found
sir.
anything from your analysis, you don't have any right to recommend. So your
Yes, sir.
recommendation should be founded on your findings of your analysis. So that part is missing. And women empowerment, when we're talking about
Right, sir.
basics of women empowerment, I'll
Mhm.
advise you to go through
Yes, sir.
the writings of Andrew Giddin in the 1984.
Right, sir.
He had published, he's basically
1984.
a structural functionalist, and he has given a very good theory how individual as an agent
Sir?
gets empowered.
Mm-hmm.
Giddin,
All right.
Gidden, Giddin, 1984. Okay.
Sir, GIDDIN 1984, sir?
Yes, you'll get,
Right, sir. Right, sir. I will do that. Thank you, sir.
So please go through
I will do
that.
that, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
actually, waste to wealth.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Sir.
again the essence of entrepreneurship.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they have, this that part you should have linked.
Okay, sir. Okay.
The paper will be very, very interesting. And the 4 cases that you have analyzed, they go in different directions. If you can
All right, sir.
generalize, okay,
Okay, sir.
by making analysis, if you can generalize, or if you can make out some inferential statements, it will be further interesting. Okay.
I will do that, sir.
So try to, come with some inferential statement by analyzing those cases.
Yes,
It's an
sir.
interesting paper, and wish all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. It was indeed great interacting with you, sir, and I will definitely take your suggestions forward. I'll definitely work with them. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rahul, sir.
Thank you so much, Madam Geeta, for your wonderful presentation, and thank you so much, sir, for your enlightening words. This is going to really benefit her. Okay, so
Thank you, sir.
now I would like to move to our next presenter, presenter number 1, Dr. Neelam Kapoor. She has joined.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, she
Ji,
has
ji, ji.
joined from
Yes.
Delhi University.
Very
Yes, ma'am.
good afternoon, sir. My topic is human resource management in the digital age through the perspective of future human resource leader. Mainly, my topic is it is a rapid advancement of the digital technology has fundamentally transformed the nature of the work and the practice of the HRM. From artificial intelligence driven recruitment to database performance management and virtual workplaces, HR professionals and the required to adapt the continuously. Basically, my paper explores human resource management in the digital age through the perspective of the future human resource leaders. It is examined how emerging technology are refacing HR functions, the competencies required for future HR leaders, and the challenges and opportunities. It is a mainly organized or experience unprecedented digital disruption. Technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data analytics, cloud compounding, automation have altered how organizations operate and they complete. This is next is a concept of the human resource management in the digital age. Digital HRM refer to the integration of the digital technology into HR processes to improve efficiency, decision making, and employee engagement. Unlike traditional HRM, digital HR emphasizes data-driven strategy and continuous learning. Technologies such as AI-based recruitment system, HR analytic platform, and the virtual collaboration tools are now integrated to modern HR practices. Now, role of technology in the transforming HR function. Number one function is we all know recruitment selection, training and development, performance management, employment engagement experience. This is the digital tools such as employee engagement apps and collaboration platforms after communication, flexibility, work-life balance, particularly in remote and hybrid work environment. My next topic is covered is perspective of the future human resource leader. First, responsible for this challenge changes agent performing digital literacy among the employees, encouraging innovation adaptability, ensuring ethical use of employee data, and maintaining trust and inclusive in the digital workplace. What are the challenges of digital HRM? Number one challenge is data privacy and cybersecurity concerns, resistance to changes among employees, skill gap in digital competency, and risk to over automation and loss of human touch. Opportunities, what is opportunities? Agar we can consider strategic decision making through HR analytic, enhanced employee engagement and satisfaction, global talent management, and agile flexible work structure. Conclude my topic is HRM in the digital age is undergoing a paradigm shift. The perspective of the human future HR leader highlight the need for a balanced approach that integrate advanced technology with human values. As organizations continue to involve dignity and HR leader must develop strategy and ethic and the technology competency to manage the workforce effectively. Ultimately, the success of digital HRM depend on the ability of HRM leader to place people at the center of the digital transformation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neelam Kapoor. Over to Sir.
Yes, actually, no. Thank you very much, Dr. Kapoor, for your deep presentation. And actually, it was not very audible, and you spoke in a very high speed, so it was difficult on my part to catch up the, anyway.
Okay, sir.
So, interesting paper where you have linked the IT and AI development with HRM with regard to leadership. So a small question from my side. Don't you think that AI or digital practice will empower the employees that will add on to the complexity of the human resource managers or leaders? Okay. So how to tackle those complexities? Because the digital practice is just a double-edged sword. The leaders are empowered. At the same time, the employees are empowered. So, do you think that any additional complexity will come because of a digital practice?
Sir, एक तो basically promoting digital literacy among the employees, innovation adaptability, I think.
No. In fact, let's say they're digitally literate. But when they become, because it is easy to manage illiterates, then the literate and clever, they become, they have access to the information, all information.
Sir, ये provide real-time feedback या database evaluations, I think, sir, or I don't know about.
So you
Database evaluations या transparent goal
no
tracking.
doubt the efficiency level will go up, but will they be effective?
Sir. जी.
Efficiency will go up, no doubt. In
Yes.
digital practice, very quickly they can, pass on the information to their employees, and a lot of data they can analyze in no time. So many advantages, but can they really be effective? Because there is a fundamental, difference between efficiency and effectiveness.
जी sir. Okay.
No, efficiency means, doing everything right.
Yes.
Okay. But
जी,
effectiveness is doing the right thing rightly.
Okay.
So when it comes to doing the right thing, it talks about the choice of the leader. There, the technology doesn't help. It is their conscience. It's their conscience. It is their, own value system. It's their own, moral values that will dictate to choose.
जी
So
जी सर जी
will the digital practice bring the ethical perspective
ओके यस
among the leaders? Will it make them more ethical? Hello?
हाँ जी यस सर जी
Uh-huh. Will it contribute to enhance the ethical value system of the leaders? That is a basic question posed before you.
I don't know sir actually I can't
Okay. You
जी जी
see, winning over is a different concept. Winning because of the weakness of others. Okay. One thing. Winning by strength. So
जी
your
सर
question arises, definitely it is going to enhance the analytical strength of the leaders. They can handle more employees very quickly, they can transfer information. All these things, it's possible because of a digital practice. And definitely, in order to sustain that practice, the employees need to be, digitally literate. That they can organize different training program, they can upgrade their skills, and they can. But the essence, that is the ethical value of the leader, is it going to change? Because there lies the crux of HRM. The crux of leadership lies in having a faith. Can they build trust? Can they win over the trust of employees through digital practice? That is the question need to be addressed here. That will be very, very interesting if you can touch upon this point. Okay? How they can win over the trust. So anyway, interesting paper. Wish good luck and try to elaborate and try to get it published. Okay. Okay. Thank you, madam.
okay sir thank you so much okay
Okay, thank you, Dr. Neelam Kapoor, for your presentation. And thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking statement. This is really going to
okay
benefit us.
thanks to all sir
Now, yeah, thank you. Now, I would like to move to our next presenter, Biswajit Das. Biswajit Das, are you here?
Sir, can you share my PPT from your
Yeah,
side?
yeah, sure. We will do that from our end.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so before you present, just let me allow a moment to introduce you. We have our next presenter, Biswajit Das from RG Borua College, faculty member. So over to you, Biswajit Das. All the best.
Thank you, sir. So, good morning, everyone present here. Today, I'm going to present my seminar paper on the topic Innovation Policy and Economic Reforms Building a Competitive National Economy. Next. Next. Next page, sir. Hello. So, these are contents. Introduction, literature review, objectives, finding and analysis, suggestion, and conclusion. Next, introduction. So, in the recent years, innovation has become a key driver of long-term economic growth and development. In a rapidly changing global economy, countries are increasingly focusing on innovation-led strategy to improve productivity, competitiveness, and sustainability. Innovation policy and economic reforms together play a vital role in shaping a strong national economy. Economic reforms support innovation-friendly environment. The government strategy to promote research and development encourages technology and startup and entrepreneurship are known as innovation policy. So innovation policy mainly focus on a long-term competitiveness. Again, liberalization, privatization, globalization, regulatory and institutional reforms are known as economic reform, which empower market efficiency. Next, literature review. So various economists and policymakers have highlighted the importance of innovation and reforms in economic development. First of all, endogenous growth theory highlight the role of innovation and human capital, which is which the relationship between innovation, economic reform, and national competitiveness has been widely examined in economic development literature. Early growth theories, particularly those proposed by Solow in 1956, treated as technological progress as an exogenous factor. Next, national innovation systems stress collaboration among firms, universities, and government. Next, then economic reforms promote competitive and efficient research allocation. And lastly, studied by our Niti Aayog in 2008. Next objective. So main objective of this paper are to understand the concept of innovation policy and economic reform. Next, to analyze the relationship between innovation policy and economic reforms, and to examine their role in building a competitive national economy. Next, my findings. So the analysis shows that innovation policy significantly contributes to economic growth by encouraging research, technology development, and entrepreneurship. And economic reforms help by improving ease of doing businesses, attracting investment, and enhancing market competitiveness. The findings also reveals that countries with strong institutional support and coordinated policy frameworks perform better in terms of innovation outcomes. Investment in education, digital infrastructure, and skill development further strengthen national competitiveness. However, challenges such as inadequate research and development spending, skill gaps, regional disparities, and weak industry academia linkages continue to limit the full potential of innovation led growth. Next, I have some suggestions how we can improve this condition in our country. So first of all, I have to suggest increase public and private investment in research and development, strengthened industry academia collaboration, then improve digital infrastructure and technological progress, then focus on skill development and human capital formation, ensure effective implementation and monitoring of innovation policies. These measures can help to maximize the benefit of economic reforms and innovation strategies in our country. So lastly, conclusion. To conclude, innovation policy and economic reforms together form the foundation of a competitive national economy. Innovation acts as an engine of growth, while economic reforms provide the necessary institutional and market support. Innovation policy and economic reforms are mutually reinforcing. Innovation drives productivity in long term. Reforms create a supportive and predictable economic environment in our country. A balanced and coordinated policy approach can help countries achieve sustainable economic growth, global competitiveness, and inclusive development. So lastly, therefore, strengthening innovation ecosystem alongside continuous economic reforms is essential for long-term national growth and national progress, as well as our GDP growth. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Biswajit Das, for a wonderful presentation. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Das, for your presentation. Actually, don't take it otherwise, because I consider myself as, man from Northeast, and I have taken up my role to promote the young researchers. Actually, I'll congratulate you for picking up the courage to present a paper in a national conference like this. But at the same time, you should know that it calls for little preparation. The way you are presenting, the preparation part appears to be a bit weak. And there are certain things it also calls for deeper understanding of this. And, you know, presentation was more of a mechanical, the way mechanically people present, in that way you have presented. Okay, what you say review of literature? In a running statement, you can link that. You have written somewhere, findings and analysis. There you just see the sequential relationship. You find something when you analyze. So how the finding will come, okay, before analysis. Okay. So finding you will get only after the analysis is made. You have written findings and analysis. And the one drawback that I found, there is no analysis in your presentation. When you are presenting, I was looking for analysis, because the way you have started with your objectives, these are worth pursuing. Okay, worth pursuing. So your paper builds the topic at the national level or at the regional level. Okay, this is one question, because the readers, they will raise a question mark. Okay, so second thing is, your objective, the way you have mentioned, there is no analysis. So you should have collected the relevant data as per your objective and made some analysis in order to arrive at, certain recommendations and conclusion. So that part was a bit weak, but anyway, okay. So you are a beginner. From your presentation, I can make out, but you have the potential, because the topic that you have chosen, it talks about, okay, your caliber as well as your strength. And I wish you'll, next to when you are preparing the paper, okay, more rigorous preparation is required. And the paper, the analysis you must focus, because people, audience will look for your analysis, how you have made the analysis. Okay. So all the best. Okay. Keep it up. Keep it
Okay,
up. Don't take it as a
thank you, sir.
no. Keep it up.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insight. This is going to motivate the presenter. So now we want to slide to our next presenter, and our next presenter is Patel Vaibhav Vijay from Shivaji University, Maharashtra.
Namaste, sir. Good afternoon, respected chairperson, esteemed resource person, and all the participants. I feel honored to get this opportunity to present my research paper in this national conference conducted by the Dhemaji College, Dhemaji, Assam, in online mode. My name is Vaibhav Vijay Patil and I am PhD research scholar from Department
But
of
not
Commerce.
audible.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
You are audible, sir.
Yeah. Now it's
Speak a
audible.
bit louder, sir.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Patel, sir, could you please speak a bit louder so that
Okay.
it will be audible to our resource person, sir? Thank
Definitely.
you.
Okay. My name is Vaibhav Vijay Patil. I'm from Kolhapur and I am PhD research scholar from Department of Commerce and Management, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Today I will going to present my study regarding the reconfiguring the human resource systems in digital economy, where I attempt to explain how technology-enabled workforce management practices are reshaping HR systems in Indian organizations. The study is descriptive in nature and is based on secondary data. With this brief introduction, I will move to the main structure of my presentation. These are the contents which I am going to try to discuss as a key digital HR practices, opportunities, challenges, findings, and conclude with policy suggestions and future research scope. Now moving towards the abstract review. This study examines the transformation of HR systems in the context of India's growing digital economy. The focus, if you try to understand, the focus is on how digital technologies are influencing the various HR-related practices such as recruitment, training, performance management, analytics, along with the employee engagement, which play a vital role in today's industrial perspective. Hence, in this research, using secondary data and qualitative content analysis, this study highlights both the benefits of digital HR and the practical difficulties that organizations facing during its implementation. Now, these are the keywords which reflect the major functional areas where digital technologies are creating visible changes in HR practices. Now, moving to our next slide. If we try to understand the background of present study, I would like to say that in recent years, the digital economy has significantly altered the way organizations operate. HRM is no longer limited to just only administrative tasks, but it has been widened its horizons of its applications along with its working perspective. It is becoming more technology driven and strategic in today's perspective. Indian organization in particular, presently, it is observed that all are adopting digital tools to improve not only their efficiency, employee experiences, but also competitiveness in dynamic business environment. Then the question may arise in your mind that what exactly mean by the digital economy? The digital economy refers to the economic activities driven by digital technologies such as internet, cloud computing, mobile platforms. Also data analytics will be there. In India, the rapid growth of digital services, online platforms, and e-governance initiatives has created a huge emphasis on organizations to modernize their internal systems, including HR, to become enough competitive in today's cutthroat competition. Then what exactly mean by the traditional versus digital HR? This tabular representation or comparison will make clear that what exactly the traditional HR that has been observed in before the previous year and what exactly the digital HR. Now the globalization emphasize on organizations to move forward with this feature. The feature may include process, focus, technology, and decision making. Then, moving towards the rationale of this study, although the digital HR is gaining importance, many Indian organizations still struggle with its implementation because implementation phase is very much uh, critical in many of the organizations because as in previous presentation, Professor Panda sir highlighted its limitations or drawbacks may arise due to the implementation of technology. In that case, I will try to discuss here that is the implementation phase. There is need to clearly understand what opportunities digital HR offers and what challenges limit its effectiveness. Hence, to do to
Patil sir,
offer.
sorry to interrupt. Patil
Okay,
sir, sorry to interrupt, but we are running short of time, so we need to complete it within time. So you have another 2 minutes time, sir.
okay, thank you, sir. Okay. Now moving to the review of literature, digital HR practices use online training platforms, enhance learning flexibility along with the engagement of employees. Next to the HR analytics and challenges, it also highlights the growing role of HR analytics in talent management, workforce planning. Based upon all this literature review, a research gap may found that most studies focus either on global trends or isolated HR functions. There is a limited consolidated evidence on Indian organizations. So I prefer this topic for my study to understand and realize what exactly happening in Indian organizations. Hence, objective study is the main objective is to understand the influence of digital economy on HR practices. Scope, its functional scope is many HR practices. Also, geographical scope is Indian organization across various sectors. Research design. A descriptive research design is to systematically explain current status of digital HR practices. Data sources considered for this research paper, industry reports, case studies, also online databases. Data analysis. Moving towards this part, data has been analyzed using qualitative content analysis, identify the key themes, patterns, and trends. Next, digital recruitment practices. Insightly in job portal, social media application tracking systems. These are the key identifiers where we can use the technology to enhance the HR practices. Next, digital training and development. E-learning platforms and virtual training programs are widely adopted in nowadays. Performance management system. It enables the continuous feedback rather than the annual appraisals. HR analytics and decision making, we may say that it helps organization make informed decisions related to the hiring, retention, and workplace training, and etc. Now, employee engagement and communication. Digital platforms may create internal portals and collaboration tools to strengthen the internal communication within organization that will help in taking decision at the right decision at the right time. Then opportunities, digital HR offers the various opportunities include efficiency, enhanced transparency, increased flexibility, etc. Challenges are skill gaps. Training must be needed in this case, inadequate technical infrastructure that may move towards the budgetary limitations of any organization, data privacy and resistance to change from employee side. Also, in some cases from employer side. These are the key findings. Indian organizations are increasingly adopting HR practices. It gives a significant benefits to the organization. Also, there are challenges of skill gaps, infrastructure, and data privacy. Conclusion: digital HR transformation nowadays is essential to become enough competent in this globalized village. So, it is given more emphasis to the each and every organization to implement it systematically, not rapidly or hurriedly. Then, with the help of this study, I may suggest some policy suggestions that invest in training and development programs to implement such type of uh, technology adoption. So develop robust data governance that may create safer or a secure environment from data theft, data piracy, and data sharing unauthorized manner. Promote collaboration between academia, industry, government to drive digital HR innovation to stay updated with the recent trends. The limitation of the study are present study relies on only secondary data, limited geographical scope because it covers only Indian organizations, and it is not covered the primary data. Future scope for this research is to conduct empirical studies impact of digital HR by conducting a primary data based upon this directly serving the organization. Explore ethical implication of HR practices will be the future scope in this regard, and investigate the role of digital HR in promoting diversity. These are the references. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vaibhav, sir. So over to you, sir. Professor Panda, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for your presentation. Actually, your voice was so low
Okay.
that I could not hear properly. But anyway, the slides I have gone through to some extent. Actually, the problem, one of the earlier presentation, I was reflecting in the same thing. Okay, there is no analysis. Okay, so the practice that has been published in the secondary sources is just captured, and without any analysis it is a reproduction of those. Okay, so it will be better if you can make analysis. So when you are saying uh, Indian practice, what are the organization and what are the industries? Okay, so data collection is not there. You just you know it would have been better if you would have gone for a reflective paper. You would have given your own comment. And there are certain flaws. Do you think the traditional practice, the paper based practice, the decision is intuitive? Okay, decision actually depends upon the decision maker. Some people, they make analysis and then decide. Okay, they consider the HR strategy as a science, data analysis, then they find something, and then they this thing. That means think and act. Intuitive, they don't rely on analysis. The intuitive school of thought, you please refer to this Henry Mintzberg.
Yes.
Henry Mintzberg, okay, he advocates for an intuitive style of a decision making, intuitively. But again, this is again questioned by Herbert Simon, who was giving emphasis on analysis. Okay, for your kind of money consumption, there was a exchange. So what happened in the exchange process? The book on which Herbert Simon got Nobel Prize, Henry Mintzberg was young that time. He made a review and wanted to publish. So he just raised, okay, one question before Herbert Simon. Sir, don't you think that too much emphasis on analysis might lead to paralysis? Then Herbert Simon read the letter and replied back with appreciation for his scholastic writing. But in reply, he said that before jumping over to a conclusion like this, you must consider that too much reliance on intuition might lead to extinction. So, whether intuitive decision making or analytical decision making, the decision based on analysis depends upon the decision maker. That's the style of a decision making. So, but your paper focuses on, digital practice. And yes, very much a reconfiguration is required, because when the paperwork is deleted from the entire system, okay, so it calls for reconfiguration. So in configuration, configuration, in what line and what benefits is going to provide, okay, in what way it is going to empower the managers, at the same time the employees, for better engagement and making HRM effective for the organization. Okay, so anyway, good attempt, keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vaibhav sir. It's a great lesson for all of us actually. Too much of intuition might lead us to extinction.
Yes.
It's a lesson. So thank you so much, sir. Now let's move to our next presenter. We have with us a research scholar from Stephen Anthony's College, Manimor Makri. So Manimor Makri, over to you.
Hello, sir. Hello, good afternoon to the respected resource person, Professor Panda, as well as the organizers of the conference. I will now shortly share my screen with you. Is my screen visible to you? Hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
you are
you are.
audible and your
Okay,
screen is visible.
okay. Okay, all right. So I'm going to present a paper titled Digital Payment Adoption Among Higher Education Students in India, a systematic literature review. So India in the recent years has experienced a very major transformation, especially in its financial ecosystem, wherein digital payment technologies such as UPI, mobile wallets, QR payments, and card-based systems have significantly reduced the reliance on cash. Now, higher education students are a particularly very important group in this transition. Why is it so? It is because they are very highly connected, they frequently use smartphones, and they conduct numerous small value transactions daily, such as food deliveries, transportations, subscriptions, and peer to peer transfers. So, therefore, this study conducts a systematic literature review to synthesize the research on digital payment adoption among Indian higher education students, and it focuses on determinants and the outcomes. Now, coming to the background, we know that government initiatives like Digital India and demonetization has really accelerated the digital adoption in the country. Further, the COVID-19 pandemic has boosted this contactless payment usage, as digital modes were perceived as safer by the customers rather than cash. However, the digital adoption is not uniform. There are differences in literacy, digital literacy, or what we call as, a part of that is financial literacy. There are differences in internet access and also trust levels, which affect the usage and the adoption of digital payments. So the higher education students here represent an ideal group for study because they are also technologically aware, but they may face several financial and infrastructural constraints. Now, coming to the research objective. The main objective of the research is to systematically review existing research on digital payment adoption among higher education students in India. Specifically, the study identifies the determinants influencing the adoption. It examines the theoretical models that are commonly used, and also it highlights the gaps in current research. Finally, the study aims to derive practical and policy implications to promote safe and inclusive digital payment usage among students. Now, coming to the methodology used. So the search strategy, we have search databases such as Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholar, ResearchGate. And the search terms we have used are digital payment or mobile payment, UPI, mobile wallet, and college students or university students or higher education students. And after applying the inclusion and exclusion criteria, the review focused only on empirical studies involving higher education students. So the search process has identified about 680 records initially. After we have removed the duplicates and we have screened titles and abstracts, and we have completed that process, 167 studies were reviewed in full. Finally, only 39 studies met all the criteria and were included in the review. Now, we have found that the frequently used theories in these reviews, it shows the one of the main, I mean, one of the theories that is used the most is the technology acceptance model, and followed by the UTA-UT. Now, the technology acceptance model highlights two components. First of all, it highlights perceived usefulness, which is how the system or how digital payments improve the performance or makes tasks easier. And it highlights a second component, which is called perceived ease of use. So, whether customers find that using digital payments requires less effort or more effort. So, it talks about whether the digital payments have a simple interface, whether there's an easy login, whether there's an easy QR code scanned, or is it easy to link with the bank account. So, a higher perceived ease of use and higher perceived usefulness will lead to higher adoption. Now, the UTA-UT model, which is the Unified Theory of Acceptance and Use of Technology model, explains, it broadens the TAM model, and it explains it more realistically by adding two other components, which is a social influence and the support infrastructure. So social influence is huge for the student population, because students and this population group may think that people important to them should use it. And so in campus life, students may think of their friends using UPI, the merchants that insist on the UPI, or the peer-to-peer transfers through the UPI. So the higher social influence, the stronger intention to use, and therefore the higher the adoption. It also talks about facilitating conditions such as the technology, the infrastructure available, the smartphone availability, the internet connectivity, the bank account to KYC connectivity, the merchant acceptance. Now, the extended TAM or hybrid models extends on the other two models by talking more about fraud risk, security, and financial literacy. So perceived risk, financial literacy, and privacy perception. Now, the next theory, the theory of planned behavior, is trying to explain about human behavior in general and not just the technology adoption. Meaning, it's trying to explain key constructs such as the attitude. Do the students personally view digital payments positively? It's talking about subjective norms. Do the students around them expect them to do it? It's talking about perceived behavioral control, which means do the students feel capable of using it? Then the next theory is the diffusion of innovation theory. It talks about how a new innovation or how a new technology spreads through the population or through groups over time. So here it talks about the characteristic of the innovation and social diffusion via networks. Now, coming to the frequency of the key variables used in the studies. So we have found that through the SLR, we have found that technological factors are highly influencing the adoption among higher education students in the country. So how the app performs and how the users experiences the app. So it's talking about convenience, speed, the efficiency, how instant the transaction capability is, and the user experience through these digital payment mechanisms. And it's also talking about whether there's any technical glitches, technical failures, app crashes, delayed confirmations, failed transactions, which really reduce the confidence of the usage in this digital payments. Now, the second most common variable that has been found in these studies are the social factors. So the social factors, the theme strongly aligns with the UTA-UT model and the DOI model, the DOI theory. So social factors are basically influences from peers, from classmates, from friends, social media. These are the factors that that are being talked about in the social factors. Now coming to we have the infrastructural factors. Infrastructural factors are basically the enabling conditions. So that means internet usage, internet connectivity, whether there's a smartphone access there, and infrastructural institutional infrastructure. Sorry about that. Institutional infrastructure such as Wi-Fi. Do they have QR codes? What are the digital fee payment portals? And we have the economic factors. So economic factors, these include the incentives and cost related perceptions, whether there's any cashbacks, discounts, rewards, whether there's any transaction cost while using these digital payment apps. And lastly, we have the psychological factors. These are basically talking about the internal perceptions and emotions, such as trust, whether there's any perceived risk among the students while using the digital apps, whether there's any anxiety, whether there's any confidence when they are using the digital apps. And so these slides are basically expounding on what I just talked about earlier. I've summarized all of these findings: technological factors, social factors, infrastructural factors, economic factors, psychological factors. Now, the research gaps that we have found with our literature review is that there is an overemphasis on general consumers. There's an overemphasis on urban professionals.
Madam,
There's an
sorry to interrupt. But we are running short of time, ma'am. Could you please sum it up?
Sure. Okay. So these studies focus on working professionals and general population samples. However, there's an underrepresentation of students, which is a there's a distinct research gap there. So these student population differ from these general consumers in many ways, some of which I've highlighted in my presentation earlier, and as well as there's limited theoretical perspectives there. So most papers will rely on TAM and UTAUT, but there's less reliance on the diffusion of innovation theory and other psychological theories. And also there's insufficient focus on regional and infrastructural diversity. So mostly papers are studying metropolitan cities, and they are ignoring the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So these were the research gap that we have found. Now, coming to the conclusion, digital payment adoption is not just a one-dimensional concept. It is multidimensional because it's influenced by technological, social, infrastructural, economic, and psychological aspects. So students represent a critical segment of the digital finance ecosystem, and their behaviors today will shape future financial landscapes. By understanding the determinants and barriers influencing adoption, policymakers, educators, and financial service providers can design strategies that promote safe, inclusive, and sustainable digital financial participation among youth populations in India. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a very beautiful presentation. Over to you, sir.
Yes, many more.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations for your presentation, and well done. And actually, why did you raise some research question? Because when you are going to review the literature, your entire process of a review process, is just to answer some questions. For example, the way you have analyzed, why did you analyze in this way? Because there is a question. Okay, there is a question that remains. You wanted to know, that is why you have analyzed in this way to know. Okay, so that why didn't you raise the research questions?
Sir.
That, for example, the question could be, which model is frequently adopted by the researchers, empirical researchers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you be it a technology adaptive model, or be it a TPP or any other model for extended, this model. Which model is mostly adopted by the contemporary, empirical researchers in the field? Then your analysis fits that. Okay, so it would have added to your quality if you would have raised the research question. Okay, before making that analysis. Anyway, so
Okay, sir.
okay, and actually no, I could not hear properly. Your voice was so low. So it was not audible properly. But anyway, and
Yeah, apologies for that, sir.
the slides were not also visible. You know, readability was a bit poor. Okay, so we cannot help because depends upon the screen, depend upon the front. Okay. Anyway, good presentation. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Manimur Makrimaran, for your wonderful presentation. And thank you, sir, for your enlightening words. Now we would like to move to our next presenter. But before we do, it's an humble request to everyone to please abide by the rules that time that we have allotted, 7 minutes time to ensure better time effective efficiency. Okay, now let's move to the next one. We have with us Bini Sharma and Ajay Dakar from Nehru Central University, research scholars. So,
Hello, am I audible?
yeah, you are, sir. Please move ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ajay Dakhar, and I will be presenting our research paper titled ESG Disclosure and Firm Performance, a study of pre-COVID and post-COVID period, in the presence of my co-author, Ms. Bini Sharma, the assistant professor in St. Anthony's College, under the guidance of Professor K.C. Kabra. So, to introduce, in recent years, ESG disclosure has gained significant importance due to increasing global awareness regarding sustainability, environmental protection, social responsibility, and corporate governance. Nowadays, investor regulators and other stakeholders uh, now evaluate firms not only based on financial performance but also on how responsibly they operate. In short, ESG provides a non-financial framework to assess the firm's long-term sustainability, ethical conduct, and risk management capability. As for the firm performance, it reflects how efficiently a firm utilizes its resources to achieve profitability and shareholders' value. In prior literature, firm performance is commonly measured using accounting-based and market-based indicators such as ROE, ROA, Tobin's Q, and market-to-book value. Our research, we typically have two research objectives. First is to analyze the trend of ESG disclosure in India before and after the COVID-19 pandemic. Second, to examine and compare the impact of ESG disclosure on firm performance. As for the hypothesis, based on stakeholder theory and prior empirical literature, the study hypothesized that ESG disclosure has positive impact on firm performance. It also examines whether the relationship between ESG disclosure and firm performance differs between the pre-COVID and post-COVID period. As for the methodology, populations, we have taken the non-financial, non-utility top 500 companies of NSE as of 31st March 2025 based on market capitalization. And we have selected the sample using stratified random sampling and we have taken 15%. From agriculture, we have taken 1, and manufacturing 36, construction 5, service 18, which comes to total of 60. However, there were some extreme negative value of some firms, so we have deducted 5, and the final sample came to 55. As for the study period, we are covering for 9 years, pre-COVID 2015-16 to 2020, COVID for 21 and 22, and post-COVID 23 and 24. As for the data source, ESG data we collected using content analysis based on GRI, and we collected from annual report, integrated report, and BRSR of the companies. Financial data is drawn from the CMIE Progress IQ database. As for the analysis, we have used panel data, regression using Stata and MS Excel. These are my findings. The trend of ESGT in India. As we can see here, the government's disclosure. Sorry. Governance, which is in blue, planet in orange, and gray, people. So governance disclosure remains the strongest and most stable component throughout this period due to strict regulatory frameworks such as service order norms. So as for the environmental, we can say the planet disclosure started at a very low level but improved significantly post-COVID. This might be due to the climate awareness, supply chain risks, and global reporting framework. Social disclosure increased significantly after COVID, so reflecting greater focus on employment welfare, workplace safety, and community engagement. And further, we have also done a Wells t-test for this to see the difference, and the Wells t-test confirmed a statistical significant increase in ESG disclosure in the post-pandemic period. The high t-value and p-value less than 0.001 indicate strong evidence of structural improvement in ESG reporting practice in India. So this is the findings of us for the full sample. Here we can see that and we have used the fixed effect regression. First, we have done the BPLM test, which help us to choose between POLS and REM, and it's suggested to use REM. But however, we have also done a Hussman test, which make us easy to choose between REM and FEM model, where we have chosen the test shows that it is better to choose fixed effect model. So here we can see that the result shows that ESG disclosure has a positive and significant impact on firm performance measured using market to book value. So this supports stakeholder theory, which suggests that firm engaging in responsible practice enjoys higher valuation due to reduced risks and improve investors' trust. So, as for the sector-wise, in the manufacturing sector, ESG disclosure has a positive and significant impact on firm valuation. This is because ESG risks such as pollution control, energy usage, and workplace safety are highly material in manufacturing firms. In the service sector, ESG disclosure shows a positive but statistically insignificant impact on the firm performance. This may be due to intangible ESG risks and symbolic disclosure that are harder for investors to evaluate or are for the researcher to evaluate. And as for the last one, pre-COVID and post-COVID period. During the pre-COVID period, ESG disclosure positively and significantly influenced the firm performance. This suggests that investors rewarded sustainability initiative during stable economic condition. However, in the post-COVID period, the ESG coefficients turned negative and insignificant. This indicates that investors prioritize short-term financial resilience and stability over ESG disclosures, which were often viewed as compliant-based. So as for the research implication, first is the implication for literature. The study contribute to ESG literature by providing sector-wise and time-based evidence from the Indian context. It supports stakeholder and legitimacy theory by showing that ESG creates value when aligned with stakeholder expectation and sectoral materiality. As for the implication for management, ESG disclosures should be treated as a strategic value driver, particularly in manufacturing firms. Firms should integrate ESG into risk management, government structure, and long-term strategy, rather than treating it as a compliance exercise. And for the implications for policymakers, policymakers should strengthen ESG regulations by introducing sector-specific mandatory disclosures. A national ESG rating system and third-party audits can improve data credibility and reduce greenwashing. And as for the limitation and scope for future research, the study is limited by sample size, geographic focus, and reliance on a single performance metric. Future research can expand to cross-country studies, including SMEs, and examine ESG's impact on risks, reputation, and green finance. To conclude, ESG disclosure in India has significantly improved in the post-COVID period. While ESG generally enhances firm value, its value enhancing role weakened during the pandemic due to changing investors' priorities. This highlights the importance of embedding ESG into core business strategy for long-term resilience and sustainability. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. It was a very good presentation and it was a very good paper. Sir, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ajay Dakhar. If my memory serves me right, were you not holding the roll number 40 of 23 to 25 batch?
Yes, sir.
Ah, I know you by your roll number. Anyway, wonderful presentation. And at your level, the paper, I appreciate some of the basic questions that I have for you. How did you measure farm performance?
Using MVP, market to book value.
Market to book value. Okay. So why did you consider this measure against other alternative measures?
Because market to book value reflects investors' future expectation and market perception. And this ESG disclosures mainly influence valuation through reputation, trust, or risk reduction, so that to capture that future as well as the present, the market expectation, I have used this market to book value ratio.
Okay. How did you measure the disclosures?
For ESG,
Yes.
using content analysis
Pardon?
based on GRI. Content
Okay.
analysis.
Content analysis.
Yes.
Okay. So why did you get the taxonomy of themes for this purpose?
For the GRI, for this content analysis, or
Yes, yes.
we took it from GRI, Global, what is that?
GRI.
The Global Reporting Initiative. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So how did you score them?
We score, the range of score is 0 to 2, 0 for no disclosure, 1 for partial disclosure, or qualitative, we can say, or little. And if there is a
Yes.
detailed disclosure or numeric, then we give 2.
Okay. So, just in a nutshell, will you please tell me what is the theoretical contribution you have made through this paper?
Theoretical contribution. You mean the literature review part?
Yeah. No, no, no. In fact, in what
I
way
didn't get it. Yeah.
your research has got a theoretical contribution? What new
I
knowledge
didn't.
it has created?
It has given the exposure of this COVID and pre-COVID and post-COVID to the readers, as this has not been done before, and this we are providing something new, as well as for we are comparing the manufacturing and the service sector. We will, so that the reader of this paper will know that uh, the difference between these two, that how the disclosure difference between the manufacturing and the service sector, as well as for the pre-COVID and the post-COVID period.
Okay, your time period was 9 years.
Yes.
Okay, keep it up. Okay, keep it up. Improve upon this paper and try to publish somewhere.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
best of luck.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, Ajay, sir, for such a wonderful presentation. Let's move to the next
Thank you, sir.
presenter. We have with us Dr. Asifuddin Ahmed and Dipankar Basak. Asifuddin Ahmed from RG Borua College, faculty member, and Dipankar Basak, research scholar from Boroland University. So, sir, could you please proceed with your presentation? Okay, Dipankar Basak, sir. Are you there? Okay, then. Yeah.
Dipankar, your voice is not coming.
Dipankar, sir, could you please unmute yourself? আপনি মিউট হয়ে আছেন নাকি আপনার সাইডৰ পৰা সাউন্ড অহা নাই
Hello.
Dr. Abhishek, sir, what should we do? Should we move to our next presenter by the time Dipankar, sir, connects?
Sir, can you change your microphone settings?
Well, we can
Maybe
do
you are
one thing
connected
by
to
the
earphones
time
or
it fix, we can move to the next presenter.
Okay.
Okay. Or if it's possible, let them try once again. Okay, so Dipankar sir has left the meeting. So let's move to the next presenter. By the time he joins, we'll move with his presentation after this. So now we have Raj Lakshmi. Raj Lakshmi Das. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Dipankar sir is here, I guess. Dipankar sir, Una Paise? Hello, Dipankar sir.
Hello.
Okay, so Raj Lakshmi Das is here, right?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, Raj Lakshmi Das, ma'am, thank you so much for joining. So we will start with your presentation, okay? Then
Sure.
we will move to Dipankar Basak once
Sure.
he fixes everything. Okay, over to you, ma'am. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Well, myself, I'm Raj Lakshmi Das. I'm working in Guwahati Commerce College as an assistant professor in business management department. And a very good afternoon to the organizers and respected Panda, sir. And I would like to share my screen now. Sir, is it visible on your part?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. You can move ahead.
Okay, thank you. A very good afternoon to all. And my topic is Navigating Through Change, a systematic literature review on the role of emotional intelligence in organizational transformation. Well, at the very outset, I would like to say that when dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but with creatures of emotion, as said by Dale Carnegie. I have two variables here. One is emotional intelligence, another is organizational transformation. Emotional intelligence is basically the ability to recognize, manage, and influence emotions. And organizational transformation is a fundamental structure change in culture, structure, processes, and people. And my rationale behind studying the role of emotional intelligence in organizational transformation is that transformation is not just technical, it's human. And if we talk about emotional intelligence, it is intrinsically linked to organizational transformation because unlike technical change like process, technology, and structure, EI actually addresses the human side of change, and it actually acts as a glue that connects, and it actually acts as a catalyst that connects the technical and human sides of change, ensuring that transformation are just technically sound but also sustainable and embraced by people involved. So without emotional intelligence, actually, it is very, very difficult for us to move ahead with the transformation or change. Let us move ahead to the next. The objectives of my study is to explore on how emotional intelligence supports organizational transformation. Second is to identify emotional intelligence competencies most relevant to change management. And the third is to highlight the gaps of research in the existing research done. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence or emotional quotient is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions as well as to perceive and influence the emotions of others. The core of emotional intelligence is about balancing inner mastery, that is, self awareness, regulation, and motivation are considered to be the inner mastery, where we need to identify, we need to understand, we need to be aware. If I'm angry, I should know that I am angry. If I'm sad, I should know that I am sad. So you need to be self aware. You need to have self regulation, how to regulate my own emotions and motivation. These are something that we need to do for our inner mastery and with outer connection, that is empathy and social skills, which together forms the emotional intelligence. The components of emotional intelligence, as given by Goldman, 1995, are these five components. For the first one is self awareness. Like I said, it is all about being aware about the self. What am I, who am I, how shall I express my emotions, what I'm feeling, everything you need to understand about yourself. If I'm sad, I should know that I'm sad. If I'm happy, if I'm sad, if I'm angry, I should know. First of all, I should be able to identify my own emotions. Second is about self regulation. If I am angry, how to regulate my emotions. So, first of all, I have to know that I am angry. Only then I will be able to regulate my emotions. That no, I cannot express my anger here. I need to keep calm and composed. So, that is about self regulation. Third is about motivation. That is about definitely, we all know about motivation. We have to on going, and that keeps every if you are a worker, if you are an employer, definitely you have to work with other human beings, and you have to keep on motivating others, so that others performance also actually depends on the manager. Empathy is all about understanding others feelings, and having a sense of understanding, and so that we can connect to each other. And social skills, it's all about teamwork and how we can communicate with each other. These are the very five components of emotional intelligence. We can also term it as competencies of emotional intelligence. I just did. It is about the a comparison with emotional intelligence with intelligence quotient. That is emotional quotient versus intelligence quotient. We definitely. Actually, we have heard a lot about intelligence quotient, IQ. We do a lot of tests of IQ, and we give much priority and preferences to IQ. But we actually we underestimate the emotional quotient of a person. But we can see that to an extent, yes, IQ level will lead you to one extent, and beyond which you have to think about your EQ. Your level of EQ will definitely it actually depends on your level of EQ, so that you can actually proceed with your career. So if we try to have a comparison, we can see that emotional quotient is all about empathy, motivation, self-reflection, managed relationships, social awareness, self-control. And IQ is all about analysis, know-how, technological expertise, concept design, critical thinking, patterns, and logic. Moving on towards the next, that is organizational transformation. Organizational transformation is a fundamental, gradual, and structured change in corporate culture, structure, and operations to align with evolving customer needs, competitive pressures, or technological advancement. It is actually a shift, a gradual and a major shift, fundamental shift in culture, structure, processes, and people. Out of which we can see that people is the only active element, and the entire thing actually depends on the people aspect. Like I said, EI actually acts as a catalyst. Moving on towards the next, it is stages of organizational transformation. It starts with planning, implementation, adaptation, and sustainability. Organizational transformation flow. The current state, we can see the existing culture, we can see we can witness the traditional structure, established processes. We need to move, we need to transform. When we actually want to think about transformation, bringing a change in the organization, then technological disruption actually enters the organization, market competition, customer expectations, the changes in the customer expectations, and regulatory changes. Change initiatives are restructuring teams, cultural shift, process reengineering, and digital adoption. And the future state is all about agile organization, innovative mindset, competitive advantage, and sustainable growth. The methodology used is here. It's Prisma based on SLR, and databases used are Scopus, Web of Science, Google Scholar, Emerald Insight. The keywords used here are emotional intelligence, organizational transformation, change management, leadership, organizational culture. The inclusion criteria used here is peer-reviewed articles published between 2000 to 2025, focusing on EI in organizational change contexts. Exclusion criteria are non-English publications, studies unrelated to organizational transformation, and a lot many other exclusion criteria are like limited rigor and language, obviously. And these are some of the exclusion criteria. Final sample is 45 articles selected from after screening abstracts and full texts. So analysis is thematic synthesis. This is the Prisma flow diagram. Databases using keywords of emotional intelligence, organizational transformation, change management, leadership, and organizational culture. So it actually starts, the records identified from databases are 523. And after doing some reference mining, manual reference mining, I got some more, that is 19 more records. After that, total identified records are 542, excluded for inaccessibility 471. After that, 71 has been screened. And again, exclusion, language, on the basis of language, I had to exclude 2 records. And on the basis of the time period that I have already stipulated, it's 6. I had to exclude 6 records, and for limited rigor, I had to exclude 3 records, which is all total giving up to 11, and leaving eligible records to be 60. And excluded as full records are not, full texts are actually not available, for which I had to eliminate another 15 records, and we are left with 45 eligible records, which are included for final review. The thematic synthesis or the findings. EI competency, stage of transformation, and the role of impact has been analyzed. So for self-awareness, we could see that the stage of transformation is vision and strategy setting. The role or impact. Leaders recognize their own biases, strengths, and limitations. When you are aware about yourself, when the leaders are aware about themselves, they can actually understand and recognize their own biases, they can identify their strengths, and they can also identify their limitations. Self-regulation, it actually affects in the stage of planning and implementation, and it helps leaders and employees manage stress, control impulses, and remain composed during uncertainty. We normally see during contingent situations, we actually remain very panicked, and we end up taking very bad decisions. And being leaders, we have to be very careful about that. We cannot take a wrong decision which is going to impact our organization. So it is very, very important on the part of the leaders to be self-regulated, to have this emotional intelligence in them, so that they can help them regulate their emotions, and so that they can manage their stress, control their impulses, and remain calm and composed during uncertainty. Next is motivation.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. Could
I have to
please sum it up because we are running short.
Sure.
So sorry.
Sure. Sure. Motivation, so driving change and sustaining momentum, keep the teams focused on long-term goals despite setbacks. Empathy enables leaders to understand employee fears and concerns, reducing resistance to change. And social skills strengthens communication, teamwork, and conflict resolution. Role of EI in organizational transformation. So this is actually the role of EI in organizational transformation. It enhances leadership effectiveness by these qualities of empathy and communication, building trust and resilience in the employees. Second is reducing resistance to change. And definitely we have this kind of sense that where we actually resist the change because we are always fearful, we are uncertain about the shift, we don't know what is coming in the future, so we always resist the change. But an emotionally intelligent leader can actually help reduce this resistance to change by understanding their emotions, conflict resolution, and motivation, improving employee engagement. They can adaptability, moral boost, and collaboration, and sustaining organizational success by long-term transformation and cultural differences. Comparative analysis aspects are, I have done a brief comparative analysis between with high EI leadership and without EI leadership. So aspects are employee engagement. If we have a leader who is emotionally intelligent, employee engagement will be high and employees feel valued. While without EI leadership, without a leader who is not emotionally intelligent, he'll be low in and disengagement, and the turnover rate will be high. Resistance to change, reduced empathy, high due to fear and communication, collaboration, strong teamwork, trust, conflict, soiled behavior, adaptability, smooth transitions, struggles with uncertainty, long-term success, sustainable transformation, short-term compliance, and long-term failure. The research gaps, as understood after doing the total study, empirical evidence gap. It actually, after the major of the studies are conceptual and case based, and it lacks quantitative data. And most studies are cross sectional, that is done only for one point of time, and it lacks longitudinal research throughout the stages of transformation. There is also a perspective gap because we heavily emphasize the leader's emotional intelligence while we do not give much importance to the employee level emotional intelligence. Sector specific, we actually are ignoring the healthcare sector, the education sector, the public and non-profit sector. Outcome gap, the soft outcomes are always highlighted, like the trust, engagement, satisfaction, but we fail to connect with the EI to hard metrics like profitability, innovation rates, productivity, etc. And there is also a connection need for evidence connecting EI to measurable the key performance indicators, and measure usage gap, limited use of objective measures, and tools gap usage. We are actually not very much using, or we are actually overlooking the digital tools of EI. Conclusion is emotional intelligence plays a pivotal role in organizational transformation by shaping leadership effectiveness, employee engagement, change management, and organizational culture. Developing AI across all organizational levels can enhance adaptability, resilience, and long term success. Future research should focus on sector specific applications, longitudinal studies, and integration of EI training into transformation strategies. So these are the references that I have added. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for your brief presentation and a very interesting topic. And
Yes, sir.
uh, actually, what is your contribution in this paper? Just a small question.
Yes, sir. Actually, I have focused on the importance of emotional intelligence. Like I said, we had always been giving much importance to IQ, but there is a shift nowadays since we know that emotional intelligence is also very, very important, and we need to take care of that because we have seen a number of students and the teachers are overburdened with, like, overloaded with work and pressures of competition and career, and they're actually going through some mental stress and mental health issues. So they need to take care of themselves and they need to meditate, and there are certain things that they can do for raising their emotional intelligence standards. And this is all about focusing on giving importance to emotional intelligence and to show that how emotional intelligence is important for everyone, so that, and even in organizational context, it actually leads, the organizational success is actually dependent on the emotional intelligence of the leaders.
Yes, actually, the organizational transformation must, needs depends upon, how effective is the leader, and it calls for a transformational leadership.
Yes, sir.
And to be a transformational leader, one has to have emotional intelligence.
Yes, sir.
And you have identified, the Goldman's 5 points. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, actually, Indian authors, for
Yeah.
example, the former director of Lucknow IIM,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
Pritam Singh, he had put it in a different way. The
Yes.
measurement of a self, and the five mantras he used to call on the similar line.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So the you have gone for only the literature review.
Yes, sir.
Uh, uh, okay. So why did
Yes.
you develop some arguments? In what way, this emotional intelligence is going to, contribute enhancement of transformational leadership.
Yes, sir.
No, why don't you develop your own argument,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
to extend it further?
Yes, sir.
Okay, those linkages. So the transformational emotional intelligence and transformational leadership.
Yes,
Why
sir.
don't you establish the linkage?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
since you have got understanding on the subject. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and when it comes to the thinking IQ
Yes, sir.
versus EQ, that comparison that you have made.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you see the clinical psychologists, that
Yes, sir.
left right analysis they used to make, and
Yes, sir.
you know don't you think that the left part contributes to the right part?
Yes, sir. It's interconnected.
Hmm?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
In fact, the Herbert Simon is said the they say that the decision making while mapping,
Yes, sir.
when he got the criticism, it is the tip of the iceberg.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so we can go for mental mapping and we can say how the decision is made.
Yes, sir.
So people criticize him, they say it's the tip of the iceberg, and
Yes, sir.
subsequently he replied back to them, the rest part is iceberg only.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this the analysis is in the left hand side and intuition comes from the right hand side. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so he said the right hand side is nothing but the stored analysis.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
that way, okay, you have got better understanding, and write a paper with
Yes, sir.
some originality.
Okay, sir.
You try to develop the linkage in your own way,
Yes, sir.
following some of the local leaders, regional leaders.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
you develop how emotional intelligence has contributed to transformational leadership in your regional context. That will be a
Okay.
wonderful paper. Okay, so thank you and
Thank you, sir.
keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Raj Lakshmi Madam, for
Thank you,
your
sir.
great presentation.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much, sir, for your insights, sir. This is going to benefit her and the entire audience, sir, actually. So, sir, can we move to the next presenter?
Yeah, actually, no, this Rajalakshmi, you please,
Yes, sir.
go through one book,
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Husman and Redley.
So,
Um,
pardon, sir. So I'm just writing. I'm noting
both
it
are
down.
both are Harvard scholar. Tossman, Tushman, Tossman, and O'Ridley, or I don't exactly remember.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so they have written a book on innovation.
Okay.
So how the transformation takes place.
Okay, sir.
So he had identified the four factors: the critical task, the
Okay.
structure, the
Yes.
people, and the
Hmm.
culture.
Okay, sir.
Okay, the process that you are talking about,
Yes, sir.
it is linked to the people.
Yes, sir.
Okay, linked to the people. So in strategic management, we bring process in between.
Yes, sir.
But actually, those who are talking about innovation,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
so
Yes, sir.
they ignore that process part. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so in their model,
Yes, sir.
okay, so critical task, structure, people, and culture, and
Yes, sir.
all these four factors are integrated in a grid, and
Okay.
that means about the innovation, where
Okay.
you'll find all the elements of your EQ
Yes, sir.
in that model.
Okay, sir.
You'll find empathy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
unless you put yourself in the shoes of others,
Yes.
you cannot be empathetic.
Yes, sir, of course.
Okay,
Yes.
empathy is something different from sympathy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in that case, you have to connect yourself. There, EQ comes to play.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so anyway, keep it up. Okay.
So, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again. Okay, so let's move to the next presenter. I guess Dipankar Basak sir has fixed everything. So Dipankar Basak sir, are you there? Dipankar Basak sir and Dr. Asif Upiname.
Okay, go to the conclusion. Yes, good morning, all of you. Am I audible here?
Yeah.
Actually, I am facing some issues in my laptop. So, I can't share the screen. Actually, I have just my speaker, laptop speaker is giving some problem. Uh,
Okay, now you are
Kindly,
perfectly audible, Dipankar sir.
but I have opened in my mobile, but in mobile it is not possible to share my
Share the
PPT.
screen. Okay. Okay, sir,
So this,
have you shared the PPT with us?
yes. Yesterday.
Okay, then it will be beneficial if we open it from our end. Will it be helpful to you, sir? Can we do it?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Dr. Abhishek, sir, could you do that, please?
Sir, you have shared it in email or in WhatsApp?
In WhatsApp.
One second. Can you give me a text again, because I'm okay. I found it.
From satisfaction to loyalty. The
It is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, all the
Thank
best,
you.
Dipankar, sir. All the
Okay.
best.
Okay. Thank you. Respected resource person and all the esteemed dignitaries present here. Good morning to one and all. Myself, Dipankar Basak, research scholar, Portland University, Kokrajhar. My topic for presentation is from satisfaction to loyalty, understanding future behavioral intentions of tourists in Kamrup, Assam. As I select this topic because tourism sustainability in Assam is largely depend not only on attracting first-time visitors but also on retaining them through satisfaction and loyalty. I have chosen Kamrup as a district because Kamrup register highest footfall as a tourist. Very limited studies has been specifically done in Kamrup district in regard to satisfaction. So, my objective of this study is to examine the overall tourist satisfaction of tourists in Kamrup Metro and Rural to examine the future behavioral intentions by taking three variables: revisit, intention, recommendation, intention, and word of mouth. And lastly, to analyze the relationship uh, between satisfactions, loyalty, and WTP of tourists in Kamrup Metro and Rural. My methodology is descriptive and analytical. My study area is Kamrup Metro and Rural District. Targeted populations, the tourists visiting Kamrup district in popular destinations. My sampling technique is convenience sampling. My sample size is 479. Uh, I have collected data through major tourist destination in Kamrup district. Through the exit point, I have collected the data. Through structured questionnaire, my data has been tested through Converge Alpha, uh, and the statistical tools has been used are frequency, percentage, mean, standard deviation, ANOVA, and correlation analysis. In the first analysis, the overall satisfaction of tourists, it was found that in Kamrup district, overall satisfaction of tourists is high. But comparing with the three destinations, that is Kamrup Metro, is the mean score is 4.05, and when the visitors visiting the both Kamrup Metro and Rural, their mean scores are is 4, and in Kamrup Rural, the mean score is 3.94. From the analysis through ANOVA, so no statistical significant difference in overall satisfaction among the three groups are found. Most tourist satisfactions are uniform in all the trip locations. I have ranked the destinations through mean wise. My top three mean satisfaction destinations are Balaji Temple, Kamakya Temple, and Umananda. These all are religious uh, uh, destinations. And in Kamrup Rural, Chandubi and Swalkuchi are the top two mean satisfactions was found. In analyzing to future behavior of tourists, uh, destination mean scores for revisit intention, recommendation intentions, and word of mouth were found 3.83 to 4.42, indicate that high likelihood of destinations loyalty. But among the three destinations, metro and rural visitors were recorded highest mean scores from across the all dimensions. Their revisit intentions is 4.30, recommendation intentions is 4.42, and word of mouth is 4.34. It indicates that diverse destination exposures enhance favorable future behavior among tourists. And revisit and recommendation intentions are also high among the tourists who visited only Kamrup Metro and only Kamrup rural destinations. Kamrup rural tourists also showed relatively lower positive word of mouth. And under willingness to pay of tourists, majority of the tourists are unwilling to pay high price across all the destinations. But Kamrup rural shows relatively higher willingness to pay. And the extent of willingness to pay, tourists willing to pay only small price, that is 5 to 10% across all the destination, all the trip destinations. And in the relationship between tourist satisfaction and destination loyalty, it was found that a positive and statistically significant relationship exists between the overall satisfaction and destination loyalty across all trip locations. Among the three trip destinations, Kamrup Rural shows the strongest positive relationship, and the relationship between tourist satisfaction and willingness to pay. It was found that overall satisfaction and WTP is weak and negative across all the trip locations. Only significant relationship was observed in Kamrup Metro and Rural when the tourist visitors both the districts. Uh, at last, my conclusions are the tourists visiting Kamrup district reported that their overall satisfaction is high, combining the three trip locations, and among these, religious and spiritual sites achieved the highest satisfaction. And tourists also shows strong revisit intentions, recommendation, positive word of mouth, while experiencing both metro and rural. Overall satisfaction has a strong positive impact on destination loyalty, particularly in Kamrup rural areas. Tourists also display high price sensitive. Satisfaction doesn't significantly increases willingness to pay higher price. For sustainable tourism development in Kamrup, should focus on experience enhancement and value creation rather than price based strategy. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Dipankar sir. That was a very good presentation. So over to you.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
How did you measure your loyalty?
Sir, through three dimensions. One is recommendation intention. One is revisit intention, and word of mouth through
Okay.
Likert scale.
So, this. What are the statements you have used?
Sir, in the questionnaire, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in the questionnaire, sir, I have used. Sir, I've measured the Likert scale,
Uh-huh.
and in the Likert scale, uh, I have given a 5 scale method, 1 to 5. In one, it is that definitely no. Under two, it is
No, no,
probably
these are
no.
the anchors.
Yes, 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 yes,
Okay, so the 5-point scale you have used to measure, but
yes,
actually, the statements that are very important.
yes, sir.
Okay, and did
Yes,
you
sir.
go for any reliability test?
Yes, sir. Converge alpha was used. It was found
Okay,
more than
what
0.
about validity test?
Yes, no, sir. No, sir. Validity
Okay,
test was
unless
not
you
done.
go for validity, whether this your scale
Yes,
is valid or not,
yes,
we cannot know it, but you have to go for validity test.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, content validity,
Sir,
conversion validity.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
all
sir.
this validity, unless you establish,
Yes, sir.
and your measurement is under question mark.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And when people, they do not rely on your scale,
Yes, sir.
and your analysis is useless. Therefore,
Yes,
you
sir.
have to, whenever you are going for primary data collection, particularly on a topic like this,
Yes, sir.
these are not solid concepts.
Yes, sir.
These concepts are very, very abstract, be it loyalty or be it satisfaction, they are very, very abstract.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have to capture somehow intelligently by appropriate statements. Okay, so that how well you have conceptualized,
Yes, sir.
it can be revealed from your scale itself. Okay, so
Okay.
that
Okay,
part
sir.
is missing in your presentation.
Okay, sir.
And anyway, good
Okay.
attempt.
Okay, sir.
And
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
getting data from the field is a difficult job, no doubt.
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
so
Okay,
you
sir.
have to make it more scientific.
Okay, okay,
Okay,
sir.
more
Okay, sir.
scientific.
Okay,
If
sir.
you are going to publish it somewhere in a good journal,
Okay,
okay,
sir.
this
Okay, sir.
way, okay, good attempt,
Okay,
but
sir.
you
Thank you,
have
sir. Thank you,
to
sir.
establish scientificness of your paper so that it
Okay,
will
sir.
be likelihood of acceptance will go up. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you,
so
sir.
okay, keep it
Okay,
up.
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, you are a
Thank you, sir.
beginner, you should keep it up. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank
okay,
you,
all
sir.
the best.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Dipankar sir.
Yeah,
Now
thank you, sir.
let's
Thank
move to
you, sir.
Yeah, next.
the next presenter. We have Mona Lisa Das, research scholar from USTM, along with Dr. Asifuddin Ahmed, faculty member from RG Borgo. So over to you, Mona Lisa Das.
Good afternoon. Am I audible, Rahul sir?
Yes, you are audible, Mona Lisa. You can
Okay, sir. Thank you. A very good afternoon, respected Professor Panda sir, all the organizing committee and the fellow participants of the conference. I'm thankful for this opportunity to share my research work in this esteemed e-conference. I will be shortly share my screen now. Sir, it is visible from your side, sir?
Not it. Yes, now it is visible.
Okay, sir. Thank you. I'm Manalisha Das, a research scholar, Department of Commerce, University of Science and Technology, Meghalaya. Today, I'll be presenting my paper titled Determinants of Organic Food Purchase, Evidence from Kamrup Metropolitan District, Assam. Into recent trends, food consumption in most developed countries has reached its peak in terms of quantity, leading to more diverse eating habits. Consumers are increasingly focused on the nutritional value, health benefits, and the quality of the food they consume. So, growing health and environment concern have increased the interest in the organic food. Despite this high awareness, the actual purchase of the organic food remains limited. Consumers often express a positive attitudes towards the organic food consumptions, but it's failed to convert them into a real buying behavior. This gap necessitates in investigation into behavioral drivers rather than the perception alone. The need for the study. Existing studies focus largely on the awareness and the purchase intention. Limited empirical evidence on the actual purchase behavior, especially in the northeastern region of India. Assam has a strong organic farming potential, but a very weak market growth in this region. Understanding these real drivers can support the policy and the marketing strategy. Moving towards the objectives of the study, the study is to identify and examine the key determinants influencing the consumer actual purchase behavior towards organic food products in Kamrup Metropolitan District of Assam. The methodology I have applied, the entire study is based on the descriptive and quantitative in nature. The data has been collected from 400 consumers in Kamrup Metropolitan District using a structured questionnaire, and the convenience sampling method has been adopted for the study. Reliability was confirmed by using a Convex alpha, which is acceptable. The analysis multiple linear regression was been applied for the study, and the model is statistically significant. I have taken the dependent variable as actual purchase behavior, and then independent variables are like knowledge, health, food safety, price, availability, quality, trust, attitude, awareness, subjective norms, satisfaction, purchase intention, and word of mouth. The regression model is statistically significant as the F value is 36.061 and P is less than 0.001. R value is 0.528 that determines 52.8 percentage variation in the actual purchase behavior explained by the selected variables, which indicates a very strong explanatory power of the model. So this is the regression result table. Purchase intention is one of the strongest variable, followed by availability, price. Surprisingly, quality shows a negative result, and word of mouth is in a moderately stable. So purchase intention shows a very strong positive influence on the purchase behavior, which indicates that consumer with strong intention are significantly more likely to make purchase of the organic food products in this region. Availability is also a very significant positive effect, which highlighted that if the products are very easily available in the market, and consumers are willing to purchase the organic food when it is very easily available in the market, and when the consumers finds accessible to buy the products, then prices are positively and significant influence on the purchase behavior, suggesting that consumers are willing to purchase organic food when prices are perceived as reasonable or justified. So price plays a very sensitive matter in the area. Then it's very surprised to say that quality exhibits a significant negative relationship. This indicates that higher perceived quality often associated with premium pricing, which may lead the consumer to delay or to limit the regular purchase of the organic food products in this region. And word of mouth shows a very marginal influences, implying that recommendation influence perceptions, but they do not strongly drive into an actual purchase decision. As in a traditional method of marketing, word of mouth plays a very important role. But recently, in my study, I have observed that word of mouth shows a very marginal influences towards the behavior of the consumer. So these are some of the non-significant factors like knowledge, health concern, food safety, trust, attitude, awareness, subjective norms, satisfaction, and word of mouth. This factor influences the perception, but it's failed to trigger into the actual purchase behavior of the consumer. That it's highlights the awareness behavior amongst the consumers of the organic food products in the region.
Yeah, ma'am, sorry to interrupt, but you have another 1 minute time left.
Sure, sir. I'll just wind up now. The interpretation, so purchase intention converts into the awareness into actions. Availability reduces the effort and the increase of the purchase. Reasonable pricing improves the value perception. High perceived quality leads to caution buying. So the limitations and the future scope of the study is that the findings may not be fully represent the entire population, as the respondents were selected based on accessibility rather than random sampling. The data collected as a single point in the time restrict the ability to observe the changes of the consumer behavior over time. And the future research can track behavioral changes over time and compare the different regions or consumer groups to improve the robustness and generalization. I wind up my presentation by concluding that actual purchase behavior is driven more by behavioral and market factor rather than perception. Strengthening in purchase intention, improving availability, ensuring fair pricing are crucial. Awareness and attitudes alone are insufficient to convert the consumers into actual buyers. Findings offer a valuable insight for marketers and policy makers. So ensure a consistent availability of organic products in local retail outlets to reduce the purchase delays and unmet demands. Introduce a smaller and affordable pack sizes to lower price barriers and encourage the trial among the first time and a budget conscious consumer. Use in storage nudges such as self labels, promotional signage, and reminders to convert the purchase intention into actual purchase behavior. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, actually, thank you for presenting a survey, much needed survey. Topic is quite interesting, but there are certain questions.
Okay,
And
sir.
one major concern is that your conclusion. Okay, I'll come to analysis at a later stage.
Okay,
When
sir.
you say that a food safety and food quality are insignificant factors,
Yes, sir.
okay, don't you think that people will raise a question mark on this sort of findings?
Yes, sir. I'm also very surprised while I'm doing the survey
No,
because
yes,
they
actually,
are I have observed that people are very aware of the term organic food product, but the awareness and the food safety or environmental concern do not match because they just know the term of organic food product, but they are not
okay.
concerned about.
Suppose
Yes.
a stale food
Yes, sir.
or a particular fruit, it is organic, but
Yes, sir.
it is stale or bacterial infection is there.
Okay.
Will people buy that?
Sir, actually, people in some parts of the region, people are aware about the term and they buy the products, but in
But your
some part.
findings, these are all insignificant.
Okay, sir.
In fact, see, when we see the nature of a variable
Okay,
and
sir.
a price,
Yes, sir.
okay, price, how did you measure?
Sir, price I have measured by like a scale only. I have measured the prices.
It is a perceived price.
Sorry, sir.
It is a perceived price.
Perceived price. Yes, sir.
Yes, so actually, no,
Hmm.
the way you have used,
Okay.
It's not the price. Price, you can go for, direct measurement.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
How
sir.
much one page in the local currency?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So actually, no, this your work,
Yes, sir.
coming to the title, you have written purchase,
Yes, sir.
but actually your study says about the purchase behavior.
Okay, sir.
No? So, take care of all these, but it's a good attempt.
Thank
Okay.
you so much, sir. For
It's a good
I will,
attempt,
I will.
but you have
It
to
will be
take
helpful,
care,
sir.
you have to bring scientific approach to your study.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so
So,
much, sir.
otherwise, what happens, the subjective norm, attitude, and all.
Mm.
Okay, you would have used the TPP framework. Okay, TPP framework. Okay,
Yes.
there it comes. But actually, did you go for any validity test of your scale?
Sir, reliability I have done, but validity I have not yet done, sir.
What was your alpha?
Convex alpha, sir.
Pardon?
Convex alpha, sir.
No, convex alpha. What was the value?
Sir, the F value is 36.061 and the R square value is 0.528,
No.
sir.
This convex alpha.
Okay.
Convex alpha that
Yes, sir.
talks about the reliability of your scale.
Yes, sir.
What is the value that you have obtained?
Sorry, sir. Presently, I forgot the real value, but I have just taken convex alpha. I will look after it, sir.
Yeah, you please check,
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay, so these are some of the aspects,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
which proves the weakness of
Yes.
the paper research.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but good attempt,
Thank you,
interesting
sir.
topic, and
Thank
keep
you,
it
sir.
up.
Thank you, sir. It's very helpful for your suggestion. I will incorporate it in my revised version of my study, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mona Lisa madam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we have three more presenters, and once more, I would like to give an humble reminder to all the remaining presenters to complete within time, please, because we need to ensure effective time management as well, because it is one of the core angle when we are talking about management. So we have our next presenter, sir. Can we move ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. So our next presenter is Gautam Hazarika, a research scholar from Kaziranga University. Gautam, sir?
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are perfectly audible.
Thank you, sir. Is my PPT visible, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, respected resource person, sir, and organizing committee, and my dear participant. Myself, Gautam Hazarika. My topic for research is financial literacy amongst street vendors of Assam, a study in 5 districts of Assam. Financial literacy refers to the ability to understand and manage various financial aspects, including budgeting, saving, investing, and handling debt. As per OECD, financial literacy is the combination of financial awareness, knowledge, skills, attitude, behaviors necessary to make sound financial decisions and ultimately achieve individual financial
Sorry to
well-being.
interrupt, Gautam Hazarika, but your screen is you're presenting, but your PPT is not visible.
Okay, sir. Is it okay, sir?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. These are the objectives. The first objective is to measure the financial literacy of street vendors of Assam. Secondly, to study the association between various demographic variables with financial literacy of street vendors of Assam. And these are the hypotheses. Street vendors are not financially literate. There is no significant association between the level of financial literacy and the age of street vendors. Then there is no significant association between the level of financial literacy and the gender of street vendors. And last one, there is no significant association between the level of financial literacy and educational qualification of street vendors. These are the research. This is research methodology. The study is based on primary data, and data have been collected with the help of an interview schedule, and it is based on OECD INFI toolkit. And the interview schedule contains two parts. The first part is on the demographic variable of street vendors, and the second part is on the financial literacy level of street vendors. And the chi-square test has been used for data analysis. And the sample size for the study is 400, and the entire sample is divided in 5 study areas at 80 each. An random sampling technique has been used for data collection. And as the term street vendor has a very wide meaning, so to be precise and specific, only food and vegetable street vendors are taken into consideration. And for demographic variable, only age, gender, and educational qualification has been taken into consideration. And the study area are Silchar, Nagaon, Tezpur, Guwahati, and Jorhat. And this is the demographic profile of street vendors. Out of 400, 77% respondents are male, 23 respondents are female, and out of 400, 4.8% respondents aged below 20 years, 42.5% respondents aged between 21 to 40 years, 38.8% respondents aged between 41 to 60 years, and 14% respondents aged above 60 years. And out of 400, 57.7% respondents educational qualification is below SSLC. 27.7% respondents have passed SSLC. 11.8% respondents have passed higher SS examination, and only 2.8% respondents have graduation degree. And for the monthly income, it is seen 26.3% respondents monthly income is below 15,000. 50.5% respondents monthly income is between 15,000 to 30,000. 21.3% respondents monthly income is between 30,000 to 45,000, and only 2% respondents monthly income is above 45,000. And as per OECD, the financial literacy is measured by aggregating the financial knowledge, financial behavior, and financial attitude score. As per OECD toolkit, there are 7 questions on financial knowledge, and a respondent can be able to score maximum 7 marks. And scoring 0 to 4 will be categorized as low financial knowledge. Scoring between 5 to 7 will be categorized as high financial knowledge. Again, there are 8 questions on financial behavior. A respondent can able to score maximum 9 marks. The question number 4, that is on short advice, contains 2 parts, and there is 2 marks for that question. And a respondent is scoring 0 to 5 will be categorized as negative financial behavior, and scoring 6 to 9 will be categorized as positive financial behavior. Again, there are 3 questions on financial attitude. The last question, that is not taken into consideration while calculating the maximum marks according to OECD toolkit. And there are total 19 questions on financial literacy. Scoring maximum score individual can earn 20 marks. And scoring 0 to 13 will be categorized as insufficient financial literacy, and scoring 14 to 20 will be categorized as adequate financial literacy. It is seen that 58% respondents have low financial knowledge, and 42% respondents have high financial knowledge, and 45.75 respondents have negative financial behavior, and 54.25 respondents have positive financial behavior. Again, 36.3% respondents have negative financial attitude, and 63.7% respondents have positive financial attitude. And it is seen that majority of respondents have insufficient financial literacy. That is 53% have insufficient financial literacy, and only 47% respondents have adequate financial literacy. And this is the association between demographic variable and financial literacy. There are 308 male respondents, and out of 308, 53.57 respondents have adequate financial literacy, and there are 92 female respondents, and majority of female respondents are insufficient financial literacy. The chi-square test result showed that 23.2150 is the result, and it is clearly significant. It shows that there is clearly significant association between gender and financial literacy, and it rejects the null hypothesis. And now the financial literacy and age, it is seen that the chi-square test result is 74.1011, and the p-value is less than 0.001, and it clearly indicates that there is significant association between age and financial literacy of street vendors of Assam, and it also rejects the null hypothesis.
Gautam sir, additional
And-
1 minute,
yes, sir.
sir.
Okay, sir.
You just have additional
And,
1 minute.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. And this is association between financial literacy and educational qualification. And it is seen that the chi-square test result is 153.0316, and the p-value is less than 0.001. It clearly indicates that there is significant association between educational qualification and financial literacy of street vendors, and it also rejects the null hypothesis. And now the move to conclusion. The street vendors do not possess adequate financial literacy, and male street vendors aged between 21 to 40 years of age and having good educational qualification are more financially literate than women, less educated, as well as old street vendors. So proper initiatives should be taken focusing on women, less educated, and elderly street vendors to improve their overall financial awareness. That's all from my part. Thank you. These are the photographs of data collection. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Hazariko, for your brief presentation. Just a couple of queries I have. What are the sources of your
Okay, sir.
hypothesis?
Sorry, sir. Pardon?
What are the sources of your hypothesis? Why
It is based on objective.
Why did you go for such a hypothesis?
Sir, during literature review, I have seen that many researchers have done financial literacy research on financial literacy, and they are using a demographic variable while analyzing.
So, your hypothesis, you have written there is no difference.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Or it
Yes,
doesn't, education doesn't influence.
Yes, sir. Education qualification has definitely influence on financial literacy, sir.
Okay.
It shows significant association.
No, all significant, the statements, the hypothesis, the statements
These are, sir, these are the null hypothesis, sir.
Okay, null hypothesis.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, the earlier studies,
Yes, sir.
they say so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
You know what is the null hypothesis?
Sorry, sir.
The statement on the line of knowledge status quo. If earlier literature says like that, okay, and your statement is in line with the earlier researchers' work, then it's a null hypothesis. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So that way you have framed your hypothesis,
Yes, sir. Yes.
and the statements you have made, or you have asked questions and given marks. That purpose
I have
of
asked question.
presentation. For example,
Yes, sir, I
knowledge,
have
how
asked
did you
question.
measure? Knowledge, how did you measure?
Sir, it is the questionnaire is based on OST toolkit, and there are 7 questions on financial knowledge, sir.
Okay. So you have adopted the questionnaire.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay then. Okay. So
Thank you, sir.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Gautam sir. And thank you so much, Professor Panda sir, for your insight. Now let's move to the next presenter. We have with us Amy Nongpure. research scholar.
Gautam, just one thing, this chi-square non-parametric
Yes, sir.
statistics, when you are using in your
Okay, sir.
analysis, the acceptability of the paper will be low. You have to go for a high order of a statistical analysis if you want to get your paper published. Okay.
So definitely, sir, I will go for regression analysis in.
Non-parametric statistics, when, just elementary, it is, cannot be rated as the inferential study. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sure,
It is
sure.
of a low value. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So try to go for a higher order of a statistical analysis, preferably, structural equation modeling or something, because the nature of the work very much fits ACM.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your suggestion.
Well, thank you so much. We have Amy Nongpure, research scholar from Nehru Central University. Over to you, Amy, ma'am.
Hello, am I audible?
You're perfectly audible, ma'am. You can proceed.
Is my screen shared? Is it visible? Hello.
Yes, the slides are visible, but not you. Your name is visible.
Okay, sir, wait.
Amy, you can turn on your video, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Am I visible, sir?
No, not yet.
Huh?
Only
I have
A
turned
is
it
written.
on.
Only capital A, Amy Nongpure.
I have turned it
So
on, sir.
maybe due to poor network.
It's okay.
This might happen due to poor network, maybe.
It's okay. No.
14
hours. Okay. Ma'am, you can proceed, ma'am.
Yeah, proceed.
Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay.
Screen is visible.
Okay. A very good afternoon to you, the resource person, none other than Professor N.M. Panda. Our respected, all the respected hello. Hello.
Yes, it's audible.
Okay. All the
You're
respected organizers of this conference. So my name is Amy Nongpure. I'm a research scholar from the Department of Commerce, Northeastern Hill University. I'll presenting my paper on the topic Navigating Dual Roles, Insights on Work-Life Balance Among Female Household Heads, a Systematic Review. So before we move forward, due to time constraints, I won't be able to present everything, except I'll give the introduction, methodology, significance of the study, the findings, research gaps, and the conclusion. So we start with the introduction. So what is work-life balance? Work-life balance is a term used of a combination of the words work, life, and balance, which work is formal paid employment or work that is performed in return for a wage. Life is anything that falls within the realm of family or home. And balance is giving equal importance to contribution to both work and life. Thus, work becomes paid employment and life becomes care work. So the idea of work balance, all right, is not new. It has actually come up since the 19th century, an era in which manufacturing restrictions were established in order to regulate the working hours of women and children. However, as more and more women are joining the workforce, especially with single working women, the problem of work-life balance or the focus on work-life balance has now been shifted as a woman's issue. So before we move further, we let us look at how what does female-headed household means. See, whenever we visualize of the term family, all right, we usually think of a clear idea that it consists of a mother, a father, and children. So, according to Talcott Parsons, he called this type of family as nuclear families, whereas the Census Bureau refers to them as a male-headed households. However, there are households consisting of only women and her children. Leela Vati refers to such households as female-headed households. So we can define female-headed households as a family in which a woman is a primary decision maker, provider, and also the protector of the family because there is no adult male to fill this role. The methodology that we have adopted for this study is it was carried out using the search terms work life balance, balancing work and life, balancing work and family, and so on, covering the studies between the period of 2000 to 2024. Relevant articles from different publishers and journals were also used, and the screening process initially identified 96 relevant papers. However, studies published in languages other than English and those appearing in journals not indexed in Scopus or Web of Science were excluded, resulting in a final sample of 71 papers. So, the significance of the study is that focused on the literature review of work-life balance among female household heads, it synthesizes, it gives more importance on the research because this particular area, it still remains underexplored. And it guides policy and future research. By synthesizing findings and limitations, the review informs targeted social protection, labor policies, and research directions tailored to the needs of female-headed households. So the findings, we find that these women, they face problems that male-headed families or nuclear families or both joint and nuclear families, they do not deal with. The new roles are overwhelmed with these families, and the new roles may be included, these women, they have to play the role of a mother, father, leader, educator, discipliner role. I mean, they are the sole bread earner, and at workplace they are the colleagues. And they have to play the role of a friend, sister, and it goes on. And these results in the change of gender relations. And these women, they are regarded as one of the society's most vulnerable groups. Because of that, because of what they are facing, it stimulates negative effect on the women's lives, whether it can be economically, psychologically, socially, or even professionally. So these are the factors which we found that affects the work-life balance of female-headed households, which is role conflict, lack of recognition, organizational politics, gender discrimination, child and elderly care, quality of health, time management, and family support and qualification. So for most of the papers, we find that 98% of the reviewed papers were based on empirical research. Within these empirical studies, the research designs adopted included descriptive, exploratory, explanatory, and experimental approaches. For data collection, the questionnaire methods was predominantly employed as the primary research instrument. In addition, some studies were found to have collected primary data using case studies, experimental investigations, and collaborative panel discussions. These are the research gaps. To date, no research has specifically examined the work-life balance of female-headed households within a matrilineal society. The ways in which various factors influence the work-life balance of women in female-headed households remain underexplored. There is a lack of comparative studies assessing the work-life balance of women in female-headed households across the primary, secondary, and service sectors. And no study has investigated whether the work setting mediates the relationship between the personal characteristics of women in female-headed households and their work-life balance. So to conclude, we find that work-life balance of female-headed households, clearly they faces work-life imbalance. And this, to conclude, again, the distinct challenges faced by these women, they remain largely underexplored as their experiences are frequently absorbed into the broad categories such as women or workers. As a result, these existing policies and workplace practices, they tend to overlook their specific constraints and life realities, limiting their effectiveness in addressing their work-life balance needs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a very eloquent presentation. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nangpur, for your very, very brief presentation that suits our time framework.
Thank you, sir.
So, one question, you have made a review of literature.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I was listening, I was just looking at your research gap. All of a sudden, you came to matrilineal society. Just for example, I'm just giving one point.
Uh-huh, sir.
Unless you analyze their findings,
Mm-hmm.
unless you link their findings to their context,
Yes, sir.
how can you say that this is, in the research gap, such type of studies in the matrilineal society?
Because it's in a different context, no, sir?
Exactly. You have to prove that it is a different context.
Okay.
So you have to make the analysis. Okay. When
From
you are
material
making a
point of view.
review, you have to give a critical reflection.
Okay.
So that a critical, in the absence of that, a critical comment on their findings,
Mm-hmm.
and the critical comment on their very research questions, you cannot identify the research gap. So that critical analysis you
Yes, sir.
have to put in, okay, so that your research gap that you have identified will be justified.
All right, sir.
Otherwise, like that, anybody, it's not a, such type of study is not available in matrilinear society at this thing. So where is the knowledge gap? The
Uh-huh.
research gap when we are talking about the knowledge gap.
Mm.
Okay, is there any
Okay.
doubt in the mind of the readers? Is there any, this will the readers context your findings in their own context? It may not be applicable. What you are saying, it is not in consonance with other theories. Okay, so the critical analysis is a precondition to
Okay, sir.
identify the research gaps. That part was missing. So try to improve upon it, and
Okay.
all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Nice to hear your presentation after a long
Nice to see
gap.
you in action also, sir. So nice to see you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye.
Thank you so much. Let's go to the last presenter of the day. We have Arpita Barua, research scholar from Nehu Central University. Over to you, Arpita ma'am.
Just a moment. Let me just
Yeah.
share my screen. Oh, is my screen visible? Hello?
Hello.
Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, screen is visible.
A very good afternoon, to everyone, especially Sir Panda. It's so nice to see you after so long. So my name is Arpita J. Borua, and I'm a doctoral candidate at Nehu Shillong, specializing in banking and finance. So to be very precise, due to time constraints, let me just begin with my research topic. So I shall be presenting my research on a very fundamental question that has been a topic of debate among banking researchers, which is, when does diversification pay, or when is diversification effective? So let me just begin with the puzzle that has motivated my research. So the traditional diversification theory, which goes back to Harry Markowitz's modern portfolio theory, initially, even though it was for securities, banking institutions and financial institutions have adopted these principles to their own context and in terms of lending. So the theory says, when we spread risk across diverse sectors, diversification should be beneficial. Yet, when we look at empirical evidences, we see there are certain fundamental contradictions. So why this contradiction arises? It is because due to a presence of another theory, which is like corporate finance theory, which documents that diversification improves diversification actually sort of reduces profitability, and banks or financial institutions can actually sort of leverage on specializing rather than concentrating.
And yet there are another stream of studies which shows mixed results that depend on unknown factors. So this is not just an academic puzzle, it has real-time implications as well as how banks manage hundreds of billions of dollars of assets. We argue that prior research has assumed homogeneity when banks are fundamentally heterogeneous institutions. So our contribution shall be to test a systematic institutional contingency framework, which is contingent upon three moderators or factors, which is bank size, ownership structure, and business model diversification. So we very specifically ask three research questions, which is like, do large banks versus small banks respond differently to concentration? Second, do public banks or private banks face different concentration effects? These institutions actually operate under very fundamentally different governance structures and also have very different stakeholder pressures. And finally, does business model diversification, which is diversification across income sources, assets, and funding diversification, buffer the impacts of loan portfolio diversification? So the research gap was to systematically compare that these moderators, the moderators of size, ownership, and business model diversification have been unifiedly studied under a simple unified framework using consistent sample. So previous research has examined these factors in isolation using different countries, different time periods, and different methods. Okay, making it very difficult or impossible rather to determine which institutional characteristic matters most. So let me briefly describe my empirical approach. My my sample consists of 26 Indian scheduled commercial banks, out of which 12 are public and 14 are private, more or less a substantial balance. And the study period observed covers the tenure of 13 years, which is from 2011 to 2020 23. And my sample roughly constitutes represents approximately 85% of the total assets of scheduled commercial banks operating in India. So we very specifically focus on the industrial loan portfolio only, because this portfolio, the industrial lending portfolio, constitutes about 30 to 35 minutes of total bank credit. And if you just ask why only industrial lending, because unlike other portfolios like agricultures, which have priority mandates of 18% and all, this industrial portfolio is the most discretionary and strategic profile where you can actually take strategic decisions. Okay, so we measure concentration using the HHI index calculated across 19 industrial sectors, which is disclosed in regulatory filings as per BSR 18. And lower concentration will mean a more diversified portfolio, and on the contrary, a higher HHI would mean a more concentrated portfolio. Methodologically, we apply system GMM estimation to address endogeneity issues. Since no bank size is zero, so we apply centered interaction methodology to cleanly identify the moderating effects. We have two measures, two dependent variables to measure bank performance. One is which is ROA for overall profitability, and the second one being lending efficiency margin for operational efficiency. This is actually the profit earned on advances adjusted to the total cost of funds. So this dual measure approach will actually help us identify whether institutional characteristics moderate concentration through profitability channels or efficiency mechanisms, or both. So I'll be very brief with my findings. Before examining my institutional moderators, let me just give you the result of my baseline finding. So the baseline finding says concentration consistently reduces bank performance across all models in Indian banking. So it means like higher concentration decreases return on assets and also reduces lending efficiency margin. So like my baseline finding actually aligns with the traditional diversification theory, which says industrial credit across different sector enhances performance through risk reduction. However, there's a catch. What matters most is the magnitude of this effects vary drastically based on bank characteristics. So I'll be very brief with the different findings which I have. Number one is the size paradox. So the size paradox here, it means larger banks suffer more from concentration than smaller banks. So how is this a contradiction? Larger banks typically should be able to have scale advantages and should be able to leverage scale advantages under concentration. But our finding here, it says it contradicts, and it says ROA, larger banks have a ROA penalty higher than that of smaller banks. So it means larger banks suffer more from concentration but not less. Similarly, about my second finding, which is also a very counterintuitive finding. It says that ownership structure creates asymmetric effects across performance diversification. So we see for private banks loses 4.67 basis points from ROA from concentration, which is higher in case of public banks than private banks, which means market discipline imposes real profitability cost. Similarly, for efficiency, the private banks gain more than public banks, which is also showing that public banks show the opposite pattern. Similarly, if we come to our third finding, which is a null result, but it is essentially important. Business model diversification does not does not moderate concentration effects. So the interaction term for both ROA, for both concentration, so the interaction term for both concentration and performance, for profitability and efficiency, are both insignificant. Which means banks that diversify across different income, asset types, or funding sources are not better positioned to manage concentrated industrial loan portfolios. So this contradicts the very basic theory of strategic substitution and complementarity. It suggests that while diversification benefits may be overwhelmed by management complexity, or they operate through channels which is not captured by our performance matrices. So the economic significance, this table shows how one standard deviation, how change in one SD would lead would lead to changes in concentration. So the magnitude of this changes are very well mentioned in the table, and I can just say the magnitude of these differences are very large enough to justify fundamentally different portfolio strategies across different bank types. For example, for a bank like SBI, which is over $300 billion in assets, 5.32 basis point loss would actually mean 1.6 billion annual profit impact due to concentration. So
Sorry to interrupt, madam. We are running short of time.
just one more minute. Yeah, so just one more minute, so what do this, I just conclude. So what do these findings means theoretically? We reconcile contradictory findings in diversification literature by showing that institutional characteristics are systematic determinants of diversification, and these are not random noise. And then by showing the economic magnitude, we also show that there are no universal optimal diversification level. This actually are very institutional specific, and then banks are very fundamentally very heterogeneous institutions, and then thus it challenges universal strategy prescriptions. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Arpita, for beautiful presentation. And in the meanwhile, you have improved your presentation skills so much so I am really delighted.
So thank you,
And
sir.
unlike we interacted in the classroom, very with a high speed, you earlier you were saying, but now you have come to the right way of a presentation. Okay, and presentation was really good. And
Thank you, sir.
ultimately, what is your finding?
Ultimately, what is my planning, sir, like about this like about this research? Sir, I've already like this is already under review, so I'm just presenting it as a part of like a conference.
And right, this. You intend to say that loan diversification
Oh,
strategy should be tailor-made to
yes,
the
loan diversification, like the very basic fundamental, the fundamental, what we can say, notion that banks are homogeneous institutions actually do not hold true. When like the Reserve Bank of India, when they actually incorporate guidelines, they do not incorporate guidelines for banks of different sizes. So
yes,
from my research, like I can say, like the outcomes of whether, like like not only diversification, size actually plays a very important role, and the outcomes, like like performance outcomes, as you can see, diversification is just one independent variable. So we can take any other independent variable, but like as you can see, the outcomes actually differ by size and ownership, and how, like like I mean like, and this like differences, like the economic magnitude is also very significant. So what I want to say is, like when RBI or any supervisory agency actually agency, like sort of implements guidelines, I think like size based supervisory guidelines would be more effective than one size fits all like guidelines. Yeah,
so that should be it should be bank specific.
bank specific, size specific, governance specific.
No. When we are saying individual bank specific means individual bank has got its
It is
own
not
size.
possible, like for a regulator like RBI, like it is not possible for a regulator like RBI. I mean, like there are like 34 like scheduled commercial banks which are listed. So like like it is not practically impossible for a regulator like RBI to like sort of again classify banks, like I mean scheduled commercial banks, rural banks, and like small banks, like these are already like sort of classified. So it might not be very possible, like for for RBI or other regulatory bodies to like like sort of implement size based
Policy.
policies for specifically like each individual bank. But however, like like I mean like segregation of banks, like segregation of banks into size, like maybe by one or two more categories, like would definitely be more I mean beneficial, because like from the like results which we have seen from
Okay.
our results. Okay.
Another small question. In a
Yes.
table,
Okay.
when you are putting banks, large versus small,
Yeah, yeah,
private and public,
yeah,
in one table.
yeah.
So, why did you put the same table?
No, I just compiled all the results. Like this is just for the like like I mean for
So
the
that
sole
is
purpose.
a line in between because it will confuse because banks of a different characteristics are you are putting in one table
Oh yeah, like
because
okay.
one is the size, one is the nature.
Mm.
Okay,
And the
so
third is the like a diverse
had you
method of.
put middle line to
Okay.
demarcate this is with regard to size and this is with regard to ownership, then
Yeah,
it
yeah.
would have been better.
Better,
Okay,
yes.
I am very happy for such beautiful presentation of a paper.
Okay, thank you,
All the
sir.
best and
Thank you,
keep it
sir.
up.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a very good presentation, a very beautiful presentation. And we have come towards the end of this technical session one.